Good evening, guys. Come home from work tonight and put together my first ever home repaired subwoofer. This sub is it's a hybrid. It's two kind of subs put together. It'll be kind of hard to show it to you because it's so heavy. It's I can get it in the light a little bit. It's a DD 2512 dual 4 magnet. Monstrous, super heavy, attached to a DD 300 series 310 basket, cone, and single 4-ohm voice coil. The reason I did this is that the 10-inch 310 series, the original sub that I built this out of, came with 30 millimeters of excursion. And I've had it in a box with two 500 series DDs, new ones, and the excursion from those two pushed this poor thing to its limits, and it bottomed out every time it hit. Well, I figured out by messing around and looking at stuff that there was this plastic ring that actually bolted down the spider in this thing. Oh, here it is. I just found it laying on the floor over there. Grab it, pick it up. This stupid subwoofer doesn't fall off my lap. So it had this stupid black ring in it, and that was screwed down on top of the spider. So every time the thing would excurd a long ways, it would hit this stupid thing. It's really hard to see it because the lighting I got in my house stinks. But yeah, so that thing was holding the spider down. So we get rid of that piece of junk, and I glued the spiders in this time with extra glue. You can't see none of that stuff. But I did test fire this thing. I put it on the floor. It looks like the voice coil is pretty much in the same location it was before. I test fired it on the floor, hooked up to my home stereo system, and it works just fine. You know, it booms away and does what it's supposed to do. So I'm assuming that this big motor is going to work fine with the small coil and the small cone, because it's 2-inch voice coil on both setups. Actually, I guess it's a 1512 dual 4 is what this motor's off of. So I don't know if this motor's going to burn this coil up right away or what, but this 310 sub sounded awesome, except it bottomed out when you hit the big, deep bass notes. So we'll see. Maybe this bigger, deeper magnet that I can barely lift will give the old girl enough oomph to make it something special now. So this is the JK1, I guess, my first Digital Designs tear apart and put back together. So it's going to be a Monster 10. If it works when it's done, it'll be cool, as long as it doesn't make any noise. It seemed to be pretty tight fit. I can only get a piece of paper in here. Anybody ever seen one that you can only get an actual piece of paper in? I guess that's what it's supposed to be, because I sanded and cleaned and blew it out and pushed little pieces of tape through around in there so we can clean out the gap and all that kind of jazz. So it's like super duper clean, and I got a piece of paper in it. So we'll see. We'll let the glue dry, and I'll find out tomorrow, because I'm not even going to mess with it until the glue gets all the way dry and stuff like that. And then I'll play with it a little bit before I stick the dust cap back on it and glue it back on. But yeah, I'm hoping this is going to save me $100, because if this sub works, I won't have to go buy another subwoofer this weekend. This one will just work in my car. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to buy another 500 series 510 to complete my box. So I'm going to give it a shot. This is my first custom woofer, so if it blows up and acts stupid, I guess it's my own fault. I just watched a couple recone videos and started hacking and slashing my stuff that actually worked, tore it all apart, and ended up putting this big magnet on this little sub. So I hope it works out cool. I'll let you guys know, and I'll play it for you when I get her done.